Good morning, everyone. Morning, Amber. Morning, group. Happy Tuesday. Good afternoon, Michelle. Good to see you. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's nice out. Well, it's not blazing hot. It's not too cold. It's the kind of weather I like. So maybe not as many clouds. It's kind of gloomy. It's all right. Gloomy fits right now. It fits. So looks like today we're going to be in the big book, page 55. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's do this. Amber says Taco Tuesday is better sober. Yeah, most certainly it is. I didn't eat when I was drinking. I don't know about anybody else. And eating interfered with my drinking. So, yeah. Amber says odd for mid June, but just means it's going to probably be a longer summer. It's usually what that means. So, yeah, we're actually getting a little bit of a spring this year. I haven't even had to water my lawn yet. So, that's been kind of nice, right? So, all right. So, we're going to start on first full paragraph of page 54. Let's do some introductions. Welcome, Daily Trudge. Dion, if you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Amber says she's all about foods. I still find eating inconvenient. Uh, I think there's some changes that need to be made. What changes need to be made? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We found too that we have been worshipers. What? We have been worshiping one. Hey, Neil. Good to see you. Neil from the UK. 14Y8F or capital I4Y8F. I have a feeling, is that supposed to say something, Neil? or did you just kind of type something inane in there? My brain says that that's supposed to say something, though. And I probably just said it out loud and don't even realize it. But welcome, Neil. Good to have you. All right. So we found two. If anybody'd like to follow along, we're in the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous on page 54. Right. You are not required to be an alcoholic to be here. I'm just here to help. I talk about alcoholism a lot, but talk about other things too. So everybody's kind of welcome to this. We found too that we have been worshipers. What a state of mental gooseflesh that used to bring us. That used to bring on. Have we not variously worshipped people, sentiment, things, money, and ourselves? It's totally random. Okay. Good, because my brain was still trying to figure it out. So thank you for letting me off the hook there. Appreciate it, Neil. All right. And then, with better motive, have we not worshipfully beheld the sunset, the sea, or a flower? Who of us had not loved something or somebody? What about alcohol? Enough. Leave me alone, kitties. You got everything you need. All right. Yeah, we worship alcohol. Worship a lot of things. You know, I was literally just listening to this video, and the guy's like, "Oh, I get a lot of likes and loves. I get a lot of likes," and it's like, "Oh, okay." Like that gives you power. See, to worship when we go for things that, especially aren't ours. You know, if I can tell you right now, if I would have done this for likes and loves, I would have shut it down 7 years ago. If that was the case, got to find different things to worship. I used to think if I had this, then everybody liked me. You know, because really what I was just trying to do was find somewhere I belong. That's all I was doing, at least for me anyway. I didn't try and change my brand. I didn't try and cut back on my drinking. I didn't do any of that. Mm-mm. You know, not all of us did. I knew at a very young age that I was an alcoholic, so I mostly drank on the fuck it's. Right? Not saying that I didn't have my own set of denial. Okay. How much did these feelings, these loves, these worships have to do with pure reason? Little or nothing, we saw at last. There's nothing reasonable about love. No. Not in the sense that Dion was using it anyway. Right? Were not these things the tissue out of which our lives were constructed? Did not these feelings, after all, determine our course of existence? It was impossible to say we had no capacity for faith or love or worship. In one form or another, we have been living by faith and little else. Imagine life without faith. Were nothing left but pure reason, it wouldn't be life. What, but we believed in life. Of course we did. We could not prove life in the sense that you can prove a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. Yet there it was. Could we still say the whole thing was nothing but a mass of electrons created out of nothing, meaning nothing, whirling on to a destiny of nothingness? Of course we couldn't. The electrons themselves seemed more intelligent than that, at least so said the chemist. Not only that, but nothing is also bigger than you. Nothingness is bigger than you. Did we not learn? Did we not learn? I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. Never Ending Story. The bad guy was nothingness when everything turned into nothing. Talk about loneliness. Talk about feeling useless, right? Because, see, every single alcoholic has what we call the bedevilments. I'm going to go ahead and read those. They're on page 52. Okay. We happen to be right there in the same, right? So let's talk about the bedevilments a little bit. We had to ask ourselves why we shouldn't apply to our human problems the same readiness to change our point of view. We're having trouble with personal relationships. We couldn't control our emotional natures. We were a prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. We could not seem to be of real help to other people. Those, those are the bedevilments, and that's where every alcoholic lands. Monetary, material things do not determine alcoholism. There's no such thing as a functioning alcoholic. It does not exist. In fact, that would be an oxymoron, meaning it contradicts itself. That's what it means. No, there are no high bottoms, there are no low bottoms. There ain't no good guys. There ain't no bad guys, right? Nope. There's alcoholism. That's it. You're either an alcoholic or you're not. There's no in betweens. Okay? We're extremists in our nature. So there are no in betweens when it comes to alcoholism. All right. Hence, we saw that reason isn't everything. Neither is reason, as most of us use it, entirely dependable, though it emanate from our best minds. What about people who prove that man could never fly? I think maybe it was easier to prove that man couldn't fly more than it was easier to prove that man could fly. But even then, man doesn't fly. We utilize airplanes. We utilize technology. Man still can't fly. You cannot sprout wings and fly. We use technology. We use reason. You don't know how an airplane works. I don't know how an airplane works. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you're an aircraft engineer and I just don't know it. But I doubt it. Doubt it very much. Right? So, yet we have been seeing another kind of flight, a spiritual liberation from this world, people who rose above their problems. They said God made these things possible and we only smiled. We had seen spiritual release, but we like to tell ourselves it wasn't true. It isn't that I didn't think it was true, I just didn't think it was for me. I just figured, because when it comes to Dion, there's always been something wrong. And I just figured maybe I'm just a bad person. Maybe I was born this way. How close to the truth I was. Right? So it isn't so much that I didn't think it was true. I could see it happening right in front of me. I could see their lives being put back together. I could see that they were smiling. I have empathy. I know when you're truly happy. I can tell. Eyes are shining. It's hard to deny that truth when you see it right in front of you. This was a weakness of mine. My weakness utilizing my own strength. Right? And I'll let you know, I'm still mad at God. I'm still I I did not pray begrudgingly this morning though. It was right. And I decided today that today was just going to be a better day. That's it. Right. And it's a little better so far. Not feeling as angry. I'm not as angry, so that's a good sign. I don't feel as depressed. So sometimes with these big emotions, these other mental illnesses, there's not much you can do but ride the storm, man. Yeah. Now I need to sing Riding the Storm Out. Riding the storm out. Riding the storm out. All right. You know I'm doing better because I'm singing. I don't sing unless I'm feeling better. I don't, why do we keep ourselves from being happy? I don't know why I do that to myself. All right. Actually, we were fooling ourselves, for deep down in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. Okay. See, you had a fundamental idea of God until it was obscured by other things. Things we took as reason, things we took as fact. Why did God kill that? Why did God kill that little girl? God didn't kill that little girl. Another human being probably did. See, there are things that human beings have done that created things like cancer. God didn't make cancer. We did. Heart disease, high blood pressure, mental illnesses. I don't believe that God did those things. Hmm. It may be obscured by calamity, by pomp, by worship of other things. but in some form or another or other, it was there. We, I have found that even people that are even the militant atheist still tends to believe in something bigger than themselves. They'll say something about karma or fate, things like that. Those things are bigger than me, are they not? Yeah, they certainly are. If I'm willing to take a look at it, right? Seeing if that clear, it's a little fuzzy, so I'm gonna clean up the video a little bit here. There we go. You probably don't see the difference, but I do. And I have to look at myself the whole time. So that's what's weird about doing this stuff is you're looking at yourself the whole time. I guess I've just kind of gotten used to it. In the beginning, when I started 7 years ago, it was very uncomfortable to sit here and do that because I had to look at myself. It's hard to do. All right. Anyway, it was obscured, right? For faith in a power greater than ourselves and the miraculous demonstration of that power in human lives are as facts as old as man himself. We finally saw that faith in some kind of God was a part of our makeup, just as much as the feeling we have for a friend. You'll hear a lot in the big book, an unsuspected inner resource. An unsuspected inner resource. To me, that means that I am a spiritual being living a human life. We're all connected one way or another, or empathy would be impossible. Yeah. It's like the concept of a hive mind. Now we cannot transfer our thoughts to each other, but when a group of people have an intention, good, bad, or indifferent, it happens. Right? Hate is a great motivator. Why? Because hate causes pain, and pain is a motivator. Depending on your actions, that motivation is going to be good or bad. I see a lot. I, let's just use an example, and I don't have a thought on it either way. Well, I do, but all the protesting, all I see is just hate for people. It's all I see is hate. It's all I'm hearing is hate, division. I think it's great that people have the right to protest. I do. I'm all for it, even if it goes against how I feel about something. It's great that we get to do that in America. Yeah. But when it turns to violence, I got a little problem with it. Peaceful protest, I'm okay with. But when I hear the hate, 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 even when they get what they want, they got what they wanted. Still, the hate's there. See, when you have hate and you play the victim, what happens is you will just find the flaw in everything. And I know that because I used to be that way. I would search out things to hate so I could justify my own anger. I have to be very careful on my worldly clamors because for some reason I get easily triggered with that stuff. And I know that. So I got to be careful. All right. So what we have is an unsuspecting inner resource. Sometimes we had to search fearlessly, but he was there. He was much a fact as we were. We found the great reality deep down within us. It was in this last analysis. In this last analysis, it is only there that he may be found. It was so with us. And here's the paragraph that we're trying to get to today. This is kind of what a sponsor does, is what your closed mouth friends do. The people in your life that want to help you find your own higher power. This is what we do. We can clear the ground a bit so I can sweep things away, right? If our testimony helps sweep away prejudice, okay, that means pointing the finger at everybody else. Well, those religious people. No. Good morning, Clara. It's good to see you. All right. So, sweeping away my prejudice, having an open mind about something new, getting rid of the prejudice of the things that were forced upon me, maybe as a child, to follow a certain kind of God. See, here's the thing. It is frustrating for us alcoholics because most of us are the black sheep of the family and the joker. Those two. These people are also truth seekers. The black sheep is a truth seeker, even in his worst moments. See, we were trying to do good, we just didn't know how. I had to be taught how to do that. But once it caught on, once I understood it, boy, did I go to town with it. See, you knew. It was so frustrating because you knew that you were being fed a line of bullshit. How'd you know? Because you're a bullshitter and you can't bullshit. See, there was something in you that didn't seem right, huh? You could not accept the tenets that were being provided to you. You do this, you're going to hell. Oh, you're going to hell. Have you ever been to hell? Here's the thing, we alcoholics, we get so bad that the hideous four horsemen come along. They say, hey, how are you doing today? We're like, I'm okay. And they say, well, we're going to make your day better. Here's a horse. We're going to go riding. And then we ride to the gates of hell. We knock the motherfuckers down and we party. Sound familiar? It's an alcoholic. Hell doesn't scare us. We're already living it. Alcoholics get benefits, non alcoholics do not. But we also have problems that non alcoholics do not have. Right? Even when talking with my wife handles her problems differently than me. She was born with knowing how to be honest. I was not. Even our conversations, I got to tread a little lightly and telling her, you need to solve this. You need to. No, she's been much better at it than me for a very long time. Yeah. Right. So if we can sweep away the prejudice, if we can enable you to think honestly, what is the first honest thing most of us say when we get here? I don't know. Now that's honest. I don't know anymore. And it's a great place to be. It really is. That's why you hear sometimes you'll hear old timers say, I wish I was a newcomer again. It isn't that they want to go through the DTs. It isn't that they want to go through the hell again. It's that they want to be naive again. It's it's a statement for relief. We're searching for relief with that. All right, let's get in a good stretch. Good stretches are good for everybody. Oh, and some good popping, right? Enables you to think honestly, right? It's going to be hard to find the truth. That seeking the truth is not easy for anyone. Not when you've been fed lie after lie after lie after lie that we agreed with, we accepted. Yeah. Then you get into the program and you can start seeing things for what they are. And then you'll become a bullshit detector. And you'll just know it. You'll just know it. Amber says, I stretch too. Haha, guided stretching. That might not be a bad idea, actually, doing some guided stretching. I'm thinking about doing, you hear like those famous quotes or maybe poems or stuff like that on Instagram, on social media or whatever. I'm thinking about doing some of those. Oh, encourages you to search diligently within yourself. Let's look up diligently. We think we know what words mean, but when we look up and you're probably usually right, but when we look up the definition, we can compare it to this and get to the right answers, right? Like, what's the one? Not incomprehensible demoralization. Um, what's the other one? Here, I can just find out real quick because it's only 8 pages ahead. They are naturally incapable, in which demands rigorous, constitutionally incapable. It's a fancy way of saying denial. That's all it is. Right? Now that we know so next time you hear how it works and they say constitutionally incapable, it's a form of denial, right? So we're looking up diligently. Diligently.
Here's the definition of diligently in a way that shows care and conscientiousness in one's work or duties.
Care. Were you going to throw the word care in there with diligently? I wasn't, right? So with care, with an open mind, being willing to accept a new way of life. Okay. So it encourages you to search diligently within yourself. Let's talk about the 4 step. Michelle said, I stretch too, monkey see, monkey do. Oh, then nobody yawn here. No yawning. Yawning is okay, but most of you don't know who Yanni is. I'm probably wrong. He was a fluutist, I believe. Right? Played the flute. He played some going out wind. Anyway, so if you search just diligently within yourself, then if you wish, if it is your choice, you can join us on the broad highway. What is the broad highway? It's where we all hang out. It's where we hang out on our adventures through life. And we'll meet you. We will meet some of you there as we trudge the happy road of destiny. You will surely meet some of us. Okay. What is that? It's everything outside your AA meetings. That's the broad highway, where we go out and we practice what has been taught us in front of other people. Right? The consciousness of your belief is sure to come to you. What they're saying is you will find your own higher power if you do those things. You'll eventually find them. And you can start off however the fuck you want. It's often that I would give people crap about a doorknob, and we all know what I'm saying. I don't need to describe it. Some people use a doorknob as their higher power, and I'm like, well, it's just, but the way this lady described it the other day, there's a lot of things that need to go on. Do you know how to make a doorknob? I don't. You see where I'm getting at? Somebody had to make the mold. Somebody had to get the metal. Somebody had to there was a lot of effort put into that doorknob. And they described it that way. I'm like, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, I'm on board. So we don't care how you're going to start out with finding your own higher power. If if God's okay with the doorknob, then who the fuck am I to say otherwise? right? You'll substitute it as you grow more into the program. So, all right, now we're going to get to the reading for the daily reflection. It was out of the depths of loneliness, depression, and despair that I sought the help of AA. All right. Nobody comes skipping into the program. Nobody comes necessarily willing. We do come willingly, kinda, but there is always an outside force that makes us come. We do not do it for our own volition. I've heard a lot of people say they came into AA to get their wife out there off their back. They stayed because they found their place. Hey, if that's what it took, that's what it took. Right? We all get sober for our own reasons, and every single one of them is valid. Every single one of them. Okay? You can get sober for any reason that you want. Any reason. Okay? I got sober for my wife and kids. I am still sober for my wife and kids. When I have a thought about drinking, it goes back to, no, I love my wife and kids. I'm not going through that again. I'm not putting anybody through that again. No. I do have to do the steps for myself. I have to get to a point where it's okay to do it for me. That may take you a little while, and that's okay too. That's okay. As I recovered and began to face the emptiness and ruin of my life, I began to open myself to the possibility of the healing that recovery offers through the AA program. By coming to meetings, staying sober, and taking the steps, I had the opportunity to listen with increasing attentiveness to the depths of my soul. Daily, I waited in hope and gratitude for that sure belief and steadfast love I had longed for in life. In this process, I met my God as I understood him, as I understand him. Daily, I waited in hope and gratitude. Yeah. Another way of saying that, fake it till you make it. And fake it till you make it is not, you're not going to, well, I don't want to be fake. Yeah, because you're being real now. Okay. Because you're being your true self now, but you don't want to fake it. You're a real Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but you don't want to fake it. Okay, I don't want to hear it. You've been faking it your whole life. Fake it till you make it is, in and of itself, is also kind of an oxymoron. But the point is you never really faked it. It just seemed fake because it was new. So it wasn't really ever fake. It was just new. You can't pretend to have faith. It's kind of like willingness. If you're not willing, pray for willingness. That's the trick. If you prayed, you got it. You already have it. Our gifts are always one step ahead of us, always, in this program. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Happy Taco Tuesday. The line today is tacos taste better when you're sober. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And